Welcome to the shed. I'm Syd, Mackie's on the camera, and today we are giving you a full tour of Shed 2.0. So if you've been following this channel for a while, you might have noticed in our last video was not in our original shed. That is because we have moved. The previous shed was actually a shed. This one is not a shed because our new place has a garage. So we are inside in a semi-heated area, which is a major upgrade. And today we're gonna give you the full tour. So our main goal with this garage setup was to be able to come in from the house like we just did and get out for a ride as quickly as possible. So we set this all up with all of our ride stuff as well as nutrition. These shelves were here originally, but we added some on. So we've got all of our on the bike nutrition, our protein and recovery drinks for after our workouts. Also just things like sunglasses and GPSs and sunscreen, which we still managed to forget. I still managed to forget. And then here we have a utility sink and water bottles. Mackie built these water bottle racks, which are amazing. Because you know, water bottles just get all moldy and gross. So now we can come back from a ride, dump them out, put them in the drying rack. Up here we've got all our lids and our shaker balls? Shaker balls for our shaker bottles. When we get back from a ride, we can just hook our hose up to the sink here. I'm not actually gonna do it right now, but then we can have warm water to wash our bikes, which is amazing, especially in the winter. This hose rolls out. We can go right out the garage door and wash bikes in the driveway. We are thinking about making more of a dedicated bike wash space, but for the moment, this has been working really well. And then we've got all of our wash kit. And we have a new wash kit, because we're dummies and we left ours at a Airbnb in Phoenix. This is like my new favorite thing. Ooh, it's so nice. And then around this corner we have shoes and helmets and a bike pump. So we could just like flow out the door on a bike ride. So we should probably talk about the bikes.
Bikes.
We are using the same hanging method that we used in the previous shed. These are the Feedback Sports bellow hinges. So they are swinging hinges that allows us to put many more bikes, which is obviously a priority, than we would otherwise, and to be able to access the bikes that are in the middle like that. And when we're not using them, we actually aren't using all of our hooks. We can fold them up like this so they're flat against the wall. So just to kind of show you how that works, that pops out like that, and then you have a bike hook. But if you don't want it, you can just fold it in. We have these spaced 16 inches apart, and I think they're staggered up and down 6 inches? It doesn't look like 6 inches.
4 inches?
4 inches?
I think it's like 4.
So we mainly did the stagger because we have bikes that are such different lengths. Like the road bikes are so much shorter than the super long mountain bikes. So I'm not actually sure we needed to do that. We could have just hung them straight across because that's what we did before. The other thing that is new that's very exciting is we did some e-bike storage. Previously we were hanging our e-bikes as well, which didn't work very well because they're very heavy. And I refused to hang them. So
we weren't hanging them, we were leaving them in the middle of the shed.
And before we had this, we just set this up recently and everything was just kind of in a pile because you have to have the e-bikes near an outlet because they're electric. So Mackie built this A-frame thing. I was pretty skeptical about this, I'm not gonna lie, because I was like, where is the cord going to come from? But it made sense to have them here because we've been using these to get around town, so we can just really easily, again, super easily pop them off, ride into town. We've been trying to drive less. Gasoline is now $4 plus a gallon, so electric bikes are amazing. Is a little bit more logistically challenging to ride into town, so that's why we've tried to make it absolutely as easy as possible. We've got our backpacks and packs over here, and then the e-bikes can just roll right off. And when we get back, we can roll them in and pull this thing down, which is outlets, or it's an extension cord. It's plugged into an outlet, I don't know, whatever. But then we duct tape, this is high technology here, we duct taped the chargers onto the A-frame So we can plug it in and it's ready to go. So over here we have our gym set up. This was actually the first thing we set up in this garage so that we could keep training while we did all of the remodels and everything. But we're not gonna go super in depth into that right now, but it's a gym. This is what I bench. It's not.
135.
Over here we have our ski and various other outdoor equipment stuff. We got a boot dryer, got Nordic skis. We recently got touring skis and I have been trying to learn how to downhill ski, so that has been amusing for everyone, except me. So here we've got a hallway, but we were like, how could we use this hallway space? So Mackie designed this swinging wall. So we can pull this out and have even more space to film, which is very exciting because it was a little like cramped over here.
We need to decorate that wall. It just hasn't happened yet.
This is all wood from our neighbor's fence. They were tearing it down and they asked if it was okay with us if they tore it down because it's between our houses, and we said yes, and can we have it? So we did all of this background wood accent wall, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, with this old fence. It's kind of great because it's already like pre-seasoned.
Weathered. It's a
Weathered.
nice weathered
That's
look.
the word I'm looking for, which I think gave us a nice look and has helped a little bit with the sound quality in here, which is a little echoey. So this corner of the garage actually used to be a bedroom. The previous owner of this house was also into nice garages, so he knocked down this wall and sort of expanded this out, and he would pull one of his sports cars over here. Obviously, that was something that we loved immediately about this house. I think we're the perfect buyers. The people who are like, you got rid of a bedroom for the garage? Like, yes, it's probably what we would have done, because obviously this space, we would not have had space for both the workshop and the gym and everything over there. We're very excited. We turned this bedroom into our workshop. That's why there's a closet, which we'll get to later. But we'll start over here. We have been keeping our stand just here in the corner. That's what we did in the previous shed. We're still calling this a shed because of habit. It's obviously not. So we pull this out when we need it. Otherwise we keep it put away because it takes up a lot of space. We've got our vise. This is the same bench from the previous shed. It is still a door. It was a door then, it's a door now.
It was a door, and now it's a bench.
And under here, we've got our air compressor. Over here, we've got all the different options, styles, accessories for the air compressor. We did upgrade our air compressor. Our previous one had developed a leak and it was kind of wimpy to begin with. So now we have I would say big kid air compressor, but it's kind of like a medium kid air compressor. But it definitely gets the job done as far as bike tires go. Have some pretty exciting additions over here. We hit 100,000 subscribers. I'm not sure we ever actually talked about that in a video. I can't remember, but thank you. That's insane.
If you aren't one of those 100,000, you should subscribe.
Now's your moment. If you are not one of our 100,000 subscribers, it's too late to be in the first 100,000, but you could be in the second. In terms of tools, and by we, I mean Mackie did a little rearranging. I was perfectly happy with how it was, but he's always optimizing. So we have changed things a little bit. We do have a couple new additions. It's a little hammer from Enduro Bearings. It also has a rubber top, so it can become a rubber mallet. It also is part of a bearing taker outer widget, which has a better name than that, but I can't remember what it is.
Bearing removal kit.
We are really excited to be partnering with Enduro Bearings this year, and they've sent us some really amazing tools. We are planning on doing some bearing replacement and overhaul videos, so if you like that idea, let us know in the comments. And let's look at some more pretty tools, like this one. Uh-oh, that's like really, okay, why don't you just zoom in on it and I just won't touch it. But that is our new bearing press, which is very exciting. And it's so pretty. I'm like the only person who cares. Actually, I don't think I am. I think most men also like pretty tools. They just don't like talk about it.
They don't call them pretty tools. They call them good-looking tools.
You're a pretty tool. We also made some hooks for hats. Because even though I pretty much only wear hats in videos, I refuse to get rid of any of them. There's actually a lot more than that, but I'm only allowed to display several. Over here, we've got our whiteboard. This is a straw that says YouTube, that YouTube sent us.
Thanks, YouTube.
So, we don't know what to do with it. It's just been like kicking around because it's kind of hilarious. But we keep a whiteboard in here so we can keep a list of all the things we haven't done yet. This could be erased at this point, but keeping us on top of things. We also have a thermometer so that we can see how much warmer it is in here than it was in the previous shed, which makes us happy.
How warm is it?
It's like 50 degrees.
Oh, that's way better.
We've got the Feedback Sports wall posts. We use these in the previous shed for wheels as well. It's a really great system. So got some kind of sad looking airliners back there, but be okay. Okay, going back to the history of the space, it was a bedroom. This was a closet. The door used to go to here, but that obviously was not okay. So we very jankily built a wall to make an extremely unstandard door size in which we built shelves. But the closet is still back there. So actually, let's talk about what's on the shelves first. Stuff, there's stuff on the shelves. Things that are waiting to go on a bike that we know we're gonna build. We've got some old brake rotors, some new brake rotors, lots of cable and housing, lots of bearing press widgets.
Basically just spare tools and parts that we don't use as often as the stuff on the tool wall.
Anyway, the cool part is that this opens up, but I will admit I'm not very good at opening it. And one thing we haven't totally figured out is like the floor is bumpy. So it kind of makes the whole system rattle. The point is to not go in this closet very often because the closet is a scary place. But the point is we hid the ugly part so that we could film pretty videos. We have our bike bags for travel, which we haven't been doing a whole lot of the past couple years. Those used to live under here, and it's been really nice to not have the under bench space just full of stuff. Luckily, these are not breakable things, so it's fine. If you enjoyed this video and like geeking out on garages as much as we do, we have a couple of vlogs on our vlogging channel about the process of how this all came together, so definitely go check those out.